So today we're going to do the handover video on the Burstner Lyseo 728. We're going to start on the outside and then we're going to move on to the inside. Coming around the vehicle, to fill up this vehicle, you've got your diesel point which is into there, and that's on your passenger side. Through opening up the door, you'll notice on this side you've got your bonnet release catch, which release the bonnets, which I'll show you under in a minute. And then whilst I'm here, you've also got your Miscad Blinds, which is fitted to this. To operate these, all you've got to do is pinch this clip here and simply pull down like so. I typically find with these it's a lot easier if you lead with the bottom, because it can often get caught, so it allows it just to guide it to the magnet. Once you've done that, obviously you've got them at the front here as well, and also on that side, and as I say, they just connect via a magnet. As a rule of thumb with everything in the vehicle, what I always say is if it feels like it's being forced, you're probably doing something wrong. So as I say, if it feels like if it's stuck, just take your time with it and don't pull at it because you don't want to break it. Coming round to the front of the vehicle, as I say, I've released the bonnet. Your bonnet release catch is just in line with your Burstner logo. You can then lift the bonnet and I'll show you what's underneath here. Once you've got the bonnet open, the main thing that you need to know underneath here is if you ever need to jump start the vehicle. If that's the case, put your negative onto there. Your positive goes onto here, which is underneath this cap, which says positive on the top. You've then got your engine oil here and your dipstick. And then just to point out a couple more things, you've got your brake disc fluid, your engine coolant, power steering fluid, and then finally your washer fluid, which is just there. Coming round to the other side of the vehicle, you'll notice that you've got your awning, which is on the top. To operate this, just go to the other end. This is a full awning, so you'll have a pole with a T on it. Simply press that into the awning, rotate that to lock it into position, and simply wind out. You've then got some legs which are on the inside of the awning which you can then drop. Let it take the weight of the awning and then simply walk it out. Wind it, walk it out, angle the legs, and then you can take it out. On a windy day, what we say is try not to use this because, as you can imagine, it's like a massive sail. Only use it when you've got hardly any wind. Moving on to the side of the van, you've obviously got your habitation door, which is here. You've got your cassette toilet, which is here, which I'll open for you now. Once open, you can see that you've got access to the cassette. To operate this, once full and empty it, all you've got to do, pull up on this handle and simply remove the cassette like so. On the top, you'll notice that you've got this pull out point here. All you've got to do is remove this cap and then you can simply empty the cassette. On the back of the cassette, you'll have a button, which I'll show you now, which is just there. That orange button, what that is when you do empty this, all you need to do is click that button and that releases a vacuum. It allows all the contents of this to run out in one steady flow, and then just give it a swill out and then you're good to go. Obviously put the cap back on and slide it back in. The main thing that you need to know with this is always make sure that the blade on the toilet is closed. If the blade is open for whatever reason, you'll come to slide this out and it'll feel like it's being stuck. If that ever is the case, stop what you're doing, have a look that that blade is closed, because as I say, you never want to pull this out because you could damage it. Moving on from the cassette toilet to the rear of the vehicle, you've got your garage. And moving around the back, you've also got your reversing camera, which is up here. Moving to the other side of the vehicle, you've got another garage point here. And then you've got your fridge vents, which is just there. This is where the fridge pulls the cool air, the air from and cools the fridge. Obviously, if you've got the sun beating down on this side of the vehicle, if you can, try and turn the vehicle round just to give it some shade, just to help that fridge out. Next, moving on, you'll notice that you've got a series of lockers here. The first one is your gas locker, and the second one is your convenience locker. In the middle here, you've got your truma vent, which in essence is the vehicle's chimney. So don't ever hang anything on there because it does get rather hot. In your convenience locker, you've got all your drain down points. You've got 4 main drain down points in the vehicle. You've got your freshwater drain down point, your wastewater drain down point, your boiler drain down point, and then your frost protection valve. So 3 of them drain down points that I've just mentioned are in this convenience locker. The other one is just down here, which is your wastewater, which I will show you in a minute. So firstly, filling up your water tank. Your water tank will take 120 litres. To fill this up, you need to unscrew this cap, like so. Simply pull this off. Once you've taken the plastic off, fit that around the top, and then simply put your hose pipe in. Once the hose pipe's in and this full, obviously all the water isn't going inside the vehicle and it'll go straight out. That's what that's for. As I say, this particular model will take 120 litres in fresh water. If you want to clean this, you can do by removing this and cleaning the inside. To drain down this system, you've got this nib on the top, which is this black point here. To empty this, all you need to do is simply rotate it and turn it. At first you'll get to a lug, so you'll turn it and you'll hit a lug, you'll actually feel it, it's almost like a click. Once you've got to that, what that indicates is that you can drain the entire system down to 20 litres. In essence, that's a quick drain down valve. Once you've done that, the reason you do that rather is if, for example, you're moving on to a site and you're not sure whether you want any water, whether you're going to have any water, so you want to keep some water in the vehicle, you can do so. Burstner recommend that if you are travelling with water, try and travel with 20 litres due to weight distribution and payload. Once you've done that, and for example you want to drain down the entire system, all you've got to do is keep on turning this valve, turn it past that lug, so you'll hear the click, keep on turning until you can't turn it anymore, and as I say, that'll drain down the entire system. Now what we say with all your drain down points is leave them open, because at the end of the day it's just water, there's no harmful chemicals coming out. So when you are travelling back home, for example, the vibrations of the road are going to make sure that all that water comes out. Next, you've then got your hookup point for your hookup cable. When operating the hookup cable, simply push this in, and then you've got a little nib that pulls out here so the lead can come out. In here you've got your frost protection valve, and then also another point here, drain down point. Your frost protection valve in essence is a fail-safe. So for example, if the vehicle gets to below a certain temperature, what this will do is it'll simply trip and then empty the water out from the boiler, as you can see. To close this system, firstly you can see that this is open because you've got a black nib on the top there in the middle of the diamond, and then also that blue button has just come out. To close this, all you've got to do is turn the diamond back to the position it was, and then simply push that blue tab back in like so, and that'll seal it. A lot of people forget about that. What typically happens is when you come to store it, that'll trip, so you'll open that system up to avoid getting frozen water in the system, and then you'll forget about it, so you need to always make sure that that's closed, because that, when you're priming your system for your boiler, will just pour out with water if that's not the case. As I say, to fill this up, to seal this up, just do what I've done there. But what might happen is, especially if in the colder climates and you've not used it in a while, let's say, you'll go to close it, so you'll turn the top like that, and then you go to push in this blue tab down here, and what will happen is you'll try to click it in and it won't click in. The reason why is within this you've got some solution which reacts to temperature, hence why it can then indicate, and it'll hence why it can actually open and drain down the system. If that's the case and it's not popping in, it's obviously too cold enough. It thinks the vehicle's too cold and in danger of freezing with the water inside of it. So if that's the case, you need to go into the vehicle, turn the heating on, which I'll show you when we're on the inside. Turn the system on. You've got this pipe here which will then heat this system. Wait approximately about 20 minutes, and that'll heat up this system here. Once you've done that, you can then go ahead and pop the tab back in and close the system. As I say, that's for your boiler, but behind that, then that yellow tab is everything from the boiler point beyond. At the moment it's closed. If I flick this up, it opens it. You can see a trickle of water just running out there. Just like so. Again, that always needs to be open when draining down the system. Finally, coming from the convenience locker, this leads me on to your final drain down point, as I say, your waste water. With your waste water, you've then got a handle which is like so, black handle. That will then connect onto here. And then all you've got to do, connect this on, like so, and then simply pull up. That'll then drain out